नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथिता पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब सन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे पुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयः प्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दुग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयद्रथजला गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहने कर्णेन वेलाकुला अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोऽथेर्ना खलु पाण्डवैरणनदी कैवर्तककेशवः पाराशर्यवचस्तरोजममलं गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटम् नानाख्यानककेसरं हरिकथा सम्बोधना बोधितं लोके सज्जनषट्पदैरहरहः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयाद्भारतपङ्कजं कलिमल प्रध्वंसिन श्रेयसे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः ॐ श्रीकृष्ण परमात्मने नमः अथ प्रथमोऽध्यायः अर्जुनविषादयोगः धृतराष्ट्र उवाच धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समवेतायुयुत्सवः मामकाः पाण्डवाश्चैव किमकुर्वत सञ्जय सरम्
धन्यवाद महोदय. Namasarvebhyah. Good evening all. Welcome to English session of Bhagavad Gita. So you all know that we have to start Saptamodhyaya, 7th chapter today. So in Bhagavad Gita, all of you know that there are 18 chapters, and there is one more classification like Shatka, that is six chapters are divided into three Shatkas. In Sanskrit, Shat means six. So 1 to 6, it is said that it is Karma Yoga, even though from the chapters 1 to 6, all the other concepts like Dhyana Yoga, Sankhya Yoga, and all the others are also discussed, but there the main focus is Karma Yoga, or Karma Yoga is more discussed compared to other things. And similarly, this middle Shatka that we are going to start today, that is 7th chapter to 12th chapter, it is Bhakti Pradhana Yoga. Here also all the other yogas are discussed, there are so many other things discussed, but the pradhanyata or the focus is more on bhakti yoga. And similarly, from 13th to 18th, it is said that it is more of jnana yoga. So there also all the discussions are there, but the focus is more on uh, jnana yoga in the 13th to 18th chapters. So, seventh chapter, that from 7th to 12th, that is Madhyama Shatka, it is called as Madhya Shatka, the middle six chapters. So, it discusses more of Bhakti Yoga. Uh, Mahodaya, just read the shloka and
अस्तु महोदय।
wait 2 minutes, sorry. So, when we were doing last shloka of the previous chapter, so Krishna says that Shraddhavan bhajate yomam same yukta tamo mataha. He says, among the yogis uh, who are the devotees, so he whose self is merged in me and who is devoted to me with Shraddha is near and dear to me. I hold him superior to all. Krishna says in the last chapter. So, last sloka of previous chapter. So, he says that one who is merged in me, one who has only Bhagwan in his mind. We have seen to become leaner, to become merged like a sponge. We have seen how the water comes from each and every hole of that the cloth piece of cloth dipped in water. So that is called as merging in Bhagavan. So he says that the real bhakti is to merge in Bhagavan. So here the question comes, if we have to focus our mind in Bhagavan, totally we have to merge in Him, then it's better or it may be easy for us if we know Bhagavan Swarupa, if we know His Guna, His Prakriti, His Mahima, His influence on us. So if we know little bit about Him, then it may be easier for us to focus more in Him, to become His devotees, to become His bhaktas. So it is the bhakta has the right to know whom he is doing upasana, what is the swarupa of Bhagavan. So bhakta has got every right in knowing Bhagavan. So without Arjuna asking any question, here Krishna starts revealing the swarupa of Bhagavan or swarupa of himself. So actually in second chapter, Krishna gives us the detailed description of the Atma, that is we individuals. So who am I? So Atma and then soul and then the body, all those things he has told about the individuals, about this creation, about the creatures on this land. But here he is telling about himself, what he is made up of, what is Ishwara Tattva, how is he, and what are his qualities, and what are his work like creation or what he does. So, all those things he describes here, and it becomes easy for a bhakta if he has knowledge of God, who is he, and what are his qualities, and what are his uh, mahima, and all those things, his nature, guna dharma. Then it becomes easy for a devotee to fix mind in Bhagavan. So, uh, Krishna is revealing who is he in this chapter. So he has taught us who we people are in second chapter Sankhya Yoga. So now in Bhakti Yoga, we'll be learning more about Ishvara Tattva. Um, Mahodaya, Kripaya Pathatu.
अस्तु महोदय।
Hmm.
ॐ श्रीकृष्णपरमात्मने नमः। अथ सप्तमोऽध्यायः ज्ञानविज्ञानयोगः। श्रीभगवानुवाच मय्यासक्तमनः पार्थ योगं युञ्जन्मदाश्रयः असंशयं समग्रं माम् यथा ज्ञास्यसि तच्छृणु।
Dhanyavada, Mahodaya. So here Krishna says that Maya Sakta Manaha. So let your mind be interested to know me or understand me, Partha, hey Arjuna. And then Yogam Yunjan, while practicing yoga, Madashrayaha, taking shelter in me, Asamshayam. So there is no doubt that definitely. Uh, Samagram mam yatha jnasyasi tat shrunu. How you will understand the everything about me, so that you shrunu, just listen. So by being maya sakta manaha, by being entirely keeping the mind in Bhagavan, and then uh, taking the shelter under him, and then practicing yoga sadhana, and then how you will understand me, how you will become capable to know about me, listen to that. He says samagram mam, and everything about God, purnataya, complete knowledge about God. How you will have that knowledge, that tat shrunu. So listen, I'll tell you how you can understand me. Listen, because it is said that Shravana is the first stage or first step in the sadhana. First we should listen, then we should understand, and then practice. It's like that. So tat shrunu, so understand how you can completely know me. That's what Krishna is telling here. And then to know God, what we should do is our mind should be always in Bhagwan and only in Bhagwan. It's not that uh, I will just be engaged in several activities, and God also one among that. So I have some 15 tasks to do today, and 16th or one is in that one task is to do puja of God or to know God. If it is like that, it is not possible. So usually what we people do, some 15 minutes we dedicate to do Bhagwan puja. So we take bath, go and sit in puja room, and then even though we are offering flowers, pushpam, palam, toyam, everything, naivedyam. So we are doing Shodashapachara, we may be doing, but mind is thinking, oh, it's getting late, I have to have breakfast. So I should catch the bus, I should go there in the office, there may be some deadline. So I have to complete this task in the office, I have to submit this today. So many things are going on in the mind, and we are doing puja. So it is exactly what is opposite to what is required. So what is required is, instead, whatever we are doing, office work or family work or anything, so one portion of the mind should be fixed in God. Everything whatever we are doing, we should say that naham karta sri hari karta, I am not doing, I am doing God's job, I am appointed by God, and what I am doing is sri hari seva. So it is his seva. So whatever we are doing, like how the mother, even if she is doing some in front of a computer doing office work, or she may be cleaning the utensils, or she may be cooking food, but she keeps an eye on her baby, because she is always worried about the baby, the safety of the baby, whether he is playing or whether he is running somewhere. So whatever she is doing, so always her mind, one portion of the mind is always on the baby, on her child. So this is how she works, the entire household chores she manages, but her one portion of the brain is always on the baby. In the same way, even though we are doing the daily chores, but what always our mind should be on God. And to, if we want to go near God, if we want to understand him, then what we should do, completely we should dedicate ourselves to him, all our actions to him. It is not that he is one among 10 activities, he is one among 15 activities. It's not like that. All our activities should be dedicated to him. So all the 24 hours we should be always thinking about him. So if we give all our 24 hours to him, then he also gives sarvasva to us. It is said like that. That is the bond between bhakta and Bhagwan. So that is about maya sakta manaha. That is how we have to always think about him. And then madashrayaha, so we have to take shelter, we have to take refuge only in Bhagavan, nobody else. We cannot take shelter, or we cannot take help of anything in this world, because in difficult times it's only God whom we think of. Because there may be so many relatives, so many friends, we may be having money, we may be having power, but if we have tough time, then none of these can save us. It is only God who can save us. So any of these things, it may be crores and crores of property we may be having, but if we are very sick, then only God's prayer may save us, but none of the relatives or anyone. So the ultimate shelter, ultimate refuge for us is only God. Only He can uh, protect us. So we have to pray Him only, and always we, when the tough time comes, we always pray Him only. That's why He says that Madashrayaha, always we should take shelter of God. No other temporary shelters will work when the difficult time comes. So then, uh, yogam yunjan, he says. So always doing yoga sadhana. So again, what is yoga sadhana? That is whatever we are doing it without any expectation and doing it with dedication, always sending the mind towards God. Whatever we do, always a portion of it is towards God, like how the sunflower, always it will be facing sun, like how the river, always it will be running day and night, crossing valleys, mountains, cities, to merge with the ocean. So in the same way, whatever we are doing, so uh, we should dedicate that to God, and such a person is called as yogi. So it may be very difficult in the beginning, but forcibly if we practice that, then some after some time it becomes our habit. So once it becomes our habit, it becomes our nature. Once it becomes our nature, then without our knowledge, always our mind will be in Bhagavan. That is like involuntary muscles work. Like suppose there is some torchlight held in front of our eyes, what we do without our knowledge, we close our eyes. It is involuntary muscles. So sudden immediately it happens without our knowledge. In the same way for yogi, so when he practices it for a longer time, and then without his knowledge, whatever he does, his mind will be always thinking about God. So that is called as uh, yogam yunjan, always keeping the mind in yoga, practicing yoga. And then he says that asamshayam samagram mam. How can you understand me without any doubts? Asamshayam, without having any doubts, how can you understand me? So, to understand God, yes, knowledge is needed, but only knowledge will not work. So, if we read scriptures, if we listen to some gurujis, and then if we gather knowledge from various sources like books and gurujis and so many other things, so what happens, we may be able to uh, teach someone, or we may be able to give speech on the stage, but it is only we are more dependent on the intellect. The intellect understand all these things, but what happens is that's only jnana. So we have not yet experienced God. We know what it is through the scriptures, we know how is God, but we have not yet experienced. So what happens if our knowledge is only if it stops there without experiencing God? We know all the theories, but we do not have practical knowledge. Then what happens? The doubts keep coming. So one doubt, if it gets resolved, then again one more doubt comes, then again one more doubt comes. It is until and unless we experience that, we keep getting doubts. So that is the limitation of knowledge. If we have knowledge, what happens? We keep getting doubt. If we experience that, then there is no scope for doubt at all, because we have seen, we have experienced, and there is no doubt that God is there, and He is uh, Srishtikarta, and He is Bhagavan. So if we experience that, then there is nothing like that, and that is the only medicine for any the disease called as samshaya. If we have to come out of that, then we should have experience of God. And then we have seen that how to experience the existence of God. That is, first we have to do chitta shuddhi and start our journey from there. So then next he says that mm, samagram mam. That is, we should have the complete knowledge of God. It is not that we just, some people know Him from one angle, understand Him from one angle. That is called as amsha drishti. So when that a person is having amsha drishti, he thinks that what I think only that is right, others are wrong. But a person who has purna drishti, who sees God from all the angles, and that person what he does is He sees God from so many tattvas, so many philosophies, and he sees God, he loves God through different emotions, and he sees God through different religions, different castes, different scriptures. So then he gets Purna Drishti, and he never argues that only I am right. He thinks that there cannot be different truths in this world. Truth is only one. And there may be the way you are seeing, the way you are interpreting is maybe different, but the truth cannot be two or three. There is only one truth, that is God, and there is only one God. So the one who has complete knowledge of God, he never argues. He thinks that okay, let people say whatever they want, but I have experienced God, I have seen God, I have the complete knowledge of God, so I'm happy with this. So he'll not argue. So that is called as knowing him completely, samagram mam. So know me completely, says Krishna, so that there will be no scope for any doubt or any argument. That's what he says. Mahodaya, द्वितीयं श्लोकं पठतु.
अस्तु महोदय। ज्ञानं तेऽहं सविज्ञानम् इदं वक्ष्याम्यशेषतः यज्ञात्वा नेह भून्यत् ज्ञातव्यमवशिष्यते।
धन्यवाद महोदय. ज्ञानं ते अहं सविज्ञानमिदं वक्ष्यामि अशेषतः यत् ज्ञात्वा न इह भूयः अन्यत् न ज्ञातव्यम् अवशिष्यते. He says भूयः न ज्ञातव्यम् अवशिष्यते. So after understanding which, you need not have to understand anything else. That I will tell Vakshami Asheshataha. So he says, Jnanam te aham savijnanam idam. I'll give you the knowledge which is with Vijnana. I'll give Jnana, Savijnana, with Vijnana. Vakshami, I'll tell. Asheshataha. That is entire thing, everything without leaving anything. Asheshataha. Yat Jnatva, by knowing which. There will be nothing remaining, anything in this world to know. Na avashishyate, nothing will remain. So that's what Krishna is telling. So I am telling you, I will tell you something about jnana along with vijnana, by knowing which there will be no need to know anything else in this world, says Krishna. So how is that knowing that there will be no need to know anything else in this world? How it is? We'll just see by one or two examples. Like if we know Bhagavan, then we'll understand everything. Because behind everything, behind the creation of living, non living, behind any entity in this world, we know that there is Bhagavan. So if we understand his Swarupa, his Tattva, then everything becomes very easy to understand. And also there may not be need to know the other things also. Like if I can take some small examples, when we are able to get water in the tap itself, so there is no need to teach our children to draw water from the well, because there is no need. Nowadays children can't draw water from the well, they don't know, because water is coming in the tap. Or because we have mixers nowadays, so there is no need for children to learn to grind the dosa batter in the grinding stone. There is no need. Initially it was essential skill or essential knowledge that we all used to learn, because that was essential. But because of these things, there is no need. In the same way, when we know, when we get the higher things, when we get the higher knowledge, then there is no need of getting the knowledge of the inferior things or lower things. That is the meaning of this. So Bhagwan is the ultimate thing, the ultimate knowledge. So then, because uh, behind everything, behind every energy, there is one ultimate energy, that is the energy of Bhagwan. So if we understand that, then we will know how to use the other things. It is like that. uh, so then behind every charachara vastu, behind every living and non-living things, behind every entity, there is only one thing, that is Bhagwan. So if we know that, then behind all the energy, behind all the things in this world, behind all the titles, that is, we have seen title means nama rupas, that is, this is prime minister, this is servant, this is rich, this is poor, or this is living being, this is non-living being. Behind all these titles, what we draw by seeing the things, so behind everything there is only one Shakti, that is Bhagavan. And uh, the paravidya in this world is to know Bhagavan. There are two types of vidyas. One is aparavidya and one is paravidya. Paravidya is to know Bhagavan, that is knowledge of Bhagavan, and all the other knowledge other than this is called as aparavidya. That is the vidya of this materialistic world is called as aparavidya, and paravidya is knowing God. And then Krishna says, Jnanam te aham savidnyanamidam. So with the jnana that is along with vidnyana, that I'll tell you. So last chapter also we have seen the difference between jnana and vijnana. Jnana means to understand a concept using our intellect, using our buddhi, and vijnana is after understanding something, implementing that, practicing that is called as vijnana. And vijnana is along with the experience. Vijnana is practicing or experiencing, following and implementing the theory that we have learned by getting knowledge. So then in this jnana, so there are so many theories, there are so many theorems or policies or some rules it may be, but that is only jnana. And vijnana is something that my inner soul has experienced. So vijnana is something that you may not make theories and tell, but it is the experience that the antaratma gets. So the vijnana says that uh, before experiencing we say that it will be like that, it will be like this, it should be like this. So there are so many guesswork. But once vijnana means once the person experiences, then uh, there is no uh, like imagination, there is no guesswork, because the soul has already experienced the existence of that. So that anything if we have to prove, then the experience is the best proof to prove the existence of anything in this world. So then a little bit of experience is much more better than so many theories. So the person who has experience, there is some adbhuta shakti in his speech, and there is so much of attraction in his speech because he has experienced that. So that can give more uh, impact on the devotees because he has experienced. He is not telling only the theories, he has experienced. So that is the difference between jnana and vijnana. Vijnana is implementing and experiencing what we have learned in jnana. So that is vijnana, and as and when we go ahead in this chapter we'll learn more about it. So experience is totally different from what we describe. So for example, we say soft. So we say soft for silk material. We say soft for the heart of a person. He is very soft spoken or very soft. And we say soft for the skin of animal. So any animal, we say that it's very soft. But these three softs are totally different, and it can be described only by experiencing. Only by experiencing we can say what is the softness in the silk, what is softness of the heart, what is softness of the animal skin. So even though we are using the same word, experiences tell how they are different compared to each other. So experience is something which is totally different than what we describe, what we learn, what we hear. So in the same way, Bhagwan is, it should be experienced to understand in a proper way. So we may read so many books, Upanishads, Brahma Sutras, Bhagavad Gita, and so many things. But only if we experience, then we know how is Bhagavan. So that's what is the difference between Jnana and Vijnana. Mahodaya, please read the next shloka.
अस्तु महोदय। मनुष्याणां सहस्रेषु कश्चिद्यतति सिद्धये यततामपि सिद्धानां कश्चिन्मां वेति तत्त्वतः।
Huh. So here Krishna says, Manushranam sahasreshu kaschit yatati siddhaye. So for siddhi among manushas, one in thousand try for siddhi, it seems. One in thousand. And then yatatam api siddhanam, among that one, among one in thousands, no, among those people, those who are trying, Kaschin mam veti tatva. There is only one who will understand me, my swarupa, he says, yatartha tatvataha. One who understand me, it is so rare. It is very, very rare. So he is telling that one in thousand. So I think that was in Dwapara Yuga. So now it may be one in lakh or one in crore who is trying to know or understand Bhagavan. Because in this world, it is so rare that people want to understand God, because all of us, or 99% of us, are attracted by the worldly affairs, by the world market, we can say, the world. Because God is very subtle, God is not visible, God is atindriya, he is not reachable by the sense organs that we have. We can't see him, we can't touch him, we can't hear him. So he is not reachable by the sense organs. And so he is not approachable. We won't get him very easily. But these Indriya Vastus, they are in front of us. Just to have to pick them up. That's all. We need not have to struggle much with little bit of strain or struggle, or little bit of take putting effort. We will get those things. And more than anything else, we still have the desire to enjoy the materialistic things. We still have that desire, it's not yet gone. And then we have not yet uh, have a desire to experience the happiness of God. That asha, that desire is not yet born within us. So, because, and even though the things that are visible to us, the beautiful materialistic things that are visible to us, even though they are beautiful, but they are temporary, they are transient, and they cannot give us eternal peace. This fact, even though we are studying in books, it has not become hridgata for us. It has not gone deep into our hearts. That's why what we are having vyamoha towards this world. So we are not moving towards God. Our face is not at our not faced towards God. It is because still we have attraction towards these worldly things. And suppose, as he says, one in thousand goes towards God, suppose, then also what happens many times, he goes to God to ask something related to materialistic things, either to ask wealth or name or fame or children or something like that. But otherwise, nobody wants to go to God purely to have God, purely to merge with God. So it's so rare. So thousands of people go towards God only to ask something to him. Thousands of people, lakhs of people we see in temples, and majority of people go to temple, why? To ask something, to health, wealth, or good things for our children or something. So always all the temples are crowded, and what the bhaktas are asking there, what they are doing, it is so rare that any bhakta ask, I don't want anything, just I want your sannidhi, I want your pada. So it is so rare. I don't know how many of us are asking for this. So it is said that this path, the people who are traveling towards God, that path is isolated. So that path, there are very rarely here and there one or two passengers will be there. Otherwise it is very calm road, nobody will be there. But in the path of this materialistic world, it is overcrowded. It is because it is visible. That's why people are more attracted towards this side. And then among the thousands of people who starts their journey, that is one in thousand, so like that, some people start their journey towards God, but after some times, some of them deviate from the path, like how we have seen in Yoga Brashta. And then some of them, it happens that they experience little bit, and suddenly they think that they should share that experience with the world. They come back, and then when they start sharing, they'll get name, fame, and people start coming to them, and then again they're immersed in this materialistic world. So that also happens. So little bit they'll pick up from here and there, they do some sadhana, and then they'll come back again. So such people are called as yoga brashtas, and we have discussed about them in the last exercise. So what we should do, we should understand God in yathartha. Yathartha means how is he, like that only, tattvataha, as it is, as he is. So to understand like that, to understand God as he is, then we should come out of the things that we have understood. We have given him aropa, it is called as. So we have given him several costumes, we have given him several veshas, we have given him so many things, we have imagined him to be in a different ways. So if we can come out of all those things, and then with the blank heart, with the plain mind, if we try to understand him, then we may be able to understand. First we'll have knowledge, and then that is jnana, and then we should become vijnanis also, says Krishna. Mahodaya, agre pathatu.
अस्तु महोदय। भूमिरापो नलो वायुः खं मनो बुद्धिरेव च अहङ्कार इति यं मे भिन्ना प्रकृतिरष्टधा।
Dhanyavad Mahodaya. So from this shloka, Krishna reveals his uh, Rupa, that is Swarupa, Bhagwan Swarupa, we say, no? So he tells about his Prakriti in this. He says that Bhumihi, Apaha, Analaha, Vayuhu, Kham, Manaha, Buddhihi, Evacha, Ahankara, Itiyam, Me, Bhinna Prakritihi, Ashtadha. So my Prakriti is of 8 types, you can say. So Bhumi, that is earth, and then Apaha is water, Analaha is fire, Vayuhu is wind, air, Kham is sky. So these are Pancha Bhutas, you may be knowing. Uh, so 5 elements with which all the things are done. Our bodies are also done with these 5 things, 5 elements they are called as. And then Manaha, Buddhihi, Evacha. So, uh, for the creation of this world, of this Srishti, so these are the raw materials. So these are called as Bhagavan's Prakriti. He is telling that Me Prakritihi, all are Bhagavan's Prakritihi, and Bhagavan Prakriti is the raw material for this creation, because all of us, all the animals, all the trees, everything is made up of these 5 elements, living and non-living things, everything is made up of these 5 elements. So whatever we are seeing around us, everything is made up of this sthula and sukshma. So sthula is which are visible to us, sukshma is subtle, which are not visible to our eyes. So they are called as sukshma. Here these 5 elements, bhumi, rapa, anala, vayu, kham, are sthula, that is they are visible to our eyes, but manaha, buddhi and ahankara is non-visible, they are sukshma. So then by these 8 things only everything is done, like how the potter makes different shape size pots with the mud. So in the same way God makes us trees, animals, birds, and so many other things with the same raw material, with the same basic material. He does different types of things, like how the potter makes with the same mud, he does different shape, size, and color, and so many different things he does. In the same way, with the same basic materials, God does dot creates this Srishti. So the and he called them as his Prakriti. So his Prakriti is the raw material for the creation of this Srishti. And then behind this sthula there is sukshma, and this is also related to Prakriti only. This is also Prakriti only, but it is very subtle, it is very sukshma, and that is mind. So this mind can understand the feelings of the other beings. And actually, to describe how is this mind, buddhi and ahankara, so there are pancha koshas. I don't know how many of you are aware of it. So annamaya kosha, and then pranamaya kosha, manomaya kosha, jnanamaya kosha and anandamaya kosha, like that. So the first three, annamaya and then pranamaya and then manomaya, are common to us and the animals. So annamaya kosha is the food anna we take, and then pranamaya is our respiratory system. I'm telling very briefly. And then manomaya kosha. Manomaya kosha is mind. So mind which has got feelings, emotions, and then also memories. So that we also have and animals also have. Mind is very, even though it is invisible, the annamaya kosha is visible. This pranamaya kosha is also visible. We inhale and exhale, but the manomaya kosha is not visible. The mind is not visible, but yet it is so powerful. Mind decides so many things. Mind is the one which gets desire and all those things, temptations, everything is mind. So mind is powerful compared to all the stula vastus, compared to the materialistic, the things that we can see uh, outside of us. So that is, they're all visible things, but mind is more powerful than those things, even though it is sukshma. And then the more powerful is, yet still more powerful is buddhi. That is buddhi can control the mind also. Buddhi has got the power of making decisions. Buddhi knows which is right, which is wrong, and this buddhi is not there for animals. For example, suppose there is a mango tree in my neighbor's house, and delicious fruits are there in that tree. And last year they had given us to taste those fruits. And then next year, when I see those fruits on the tree, the mind says that, oh, these are very delicious fruits, I have tasted it. And because it is human mind, I have brain also, so the brain says that yes, they may be delicious, but they belong to your neighbor, so you can't take them, you can't pluck them. But for animals, this intellect buddhi is not there, so they don't know whether it is neighbors or mine or whatever. They'll just climb the tree and pluck the fruits and eat. So that makes the difference between the buddhi and the manas. Buddhi knows what is right and what is wrong, and buddhi is very very subtle, very very sukshma, but it is very powerful. Especially they say that the brain of human being is the ultimate, it is the highest compared to all the living beings. So it knows so much. So by taking some, collecting some data, it can make the rules, it can make the laws, like law of gravitational forces and so many things our scientists have done. So even if we get little bit what the buddhi does, it can guess what is there behind. So for example, carbon dating is there. If they get some material, so any fossil things, so they can tell that to which century it belongs, so by doing that carbon dating or whatever. So it is all because of the buddhi. So buddhi can measure the distance between sun and moon, distance between earth and sun, diameter of earth. So not by measuring the, taking the tape and measuring, it is all by the help of buddhi. Buddhi is so powerful. So it can tell what is there in bhugarbha, what is there in akasha, what can happen after 1,000 years, after 10,000 years, so how the earth may be after 10,000 years. All these things are done with the help of buddhi. So Krishna says that buddhi is also one of my prakriti, manas, buddhi, and then ahankara. So when ahankara comes, yes, I know this, I have this knowledge, I am so rich, I have got so many awards. I have got so much of mahima. I am so popular. So this ahankara comes by ajnana, and the person becomes egoistic. So all these three are different, or all the eight are different. So all these three, manas and ahankara and buddhi. So we can separate all those things. That's why I gave the example of the animals and the humans. How the buddhi is different from manas, manomaya kosha, and then jnanamaya kosha, how they are different, and ahankara is totally different. So these are all, these eight are my prakriti, says Krishna, and because of that prakriti he creates this srishti. uh, Mahodaya, agre pathatu.
अपरेयमितस्त्वन्यां प्रकृतिं विद्धि मे परां जीवभूतां महाबाहो य एदं धार्यते जगत्.
धन्यवाद महोदय. अपरा इयम इतः, अपरा प्लस इयम प्लस इतः प्लस तु प्लस अन्याम. So apareyamitastvanyam prakritim vidhi me param. So iyam apara prakritim, iyam me apara prakritim vidhi. So hey Arjuna, what I have described in the previous shloka, that is my apara prakriti. So now with the para prakriti, now you understand my para prakriti. So God is having two prakritis, one is apara and one is para. So what is apara prakriti? Apara prakriti is Bhumi, Rapa, Analo, that is five Panchabhutas, Buddhi, Manas, and Ahankara, and it contains both Sthula and Sukshma. So that is Apara Prakriti. One more is Para Prakriti. Jiva Bhutam Mahabaho Yayedam Dharyate Jagat, by which this Para Prakriti, by which the entire world is sustained, says Krishna, Dharyate. So Para Prakriti is God's Chaitanya. So he says that the apara prakriti is the sthula shakti, and we see the things through that apara prakriti, the materials, the things, and in English we can call it as matter and energy. So what we see in this entire world, it is in this modern science, it is called as matter and energy. And in this shloka, so that was in the previous shloka about matter and energy. In this shloka, he tells about his para prakriti. What is para prakriti is his chit rupa. It is totally different from apara prakriti. And this is Chaitanya. The para prakriti is God's Chaitanya, Bhagavan's Chaitanya. And with that Chaitanya only, the entire world is sustained. So it is said that uh, entire prapancha is like his God's coat, that is blazer or suit, we say, no? So like that, it is not different, and God is wearing these two coats, it is said. So God is wearing para and apara, both the coats he is wearing. And because he is wearing, behind it, it is everywhere God, behind the coat it is everywhere him. And in the inferior level, we see the dravyas. Dravyas means the matter. And that matter is in three states, like solid, liquid, and gaseous state. And in these states, the Chaitanya is dormant, we can say. It is sleeping. It's not uh, manifested there. It's not visible there. The Chaitanya is not visible. So it is in the dormant state. And in a little more higher level is the trees, the creepers, so all those things. So their Chaitanya is just started germinating. It is just dreaming state, it is called as. So Chaitanya is little active compared to the previous state, where the non-living things. So there Chaitanya is there, no doubt, but it is dormant. And here it is just woken up, so like that. And then little superior is Pashu Pakshi Jiva Jantu, that is animals, birds, and all the creatures. So there also Chaitanya is just awaken, it is said. So it little higher level, and then it is totally awakened state in Manava, in Manusha. So there is no place, there is no Chaitanya in this world. Everywhere Chaitanya is there, but some like rocks or mountains, we don't see Chaitanya, but it is in the dormant state. We say that in a stone or rock, kinetic energy will be there. In science, we say that. So that is Suptavastha. So it is in a dormant state, but Chaitanya is there everywhere. So then, what is this Chaitanya? So this is the meaning of this. Bhagavan's Parashakti is Bhagavan's Chaitanya. Aparashakti is what we can see, this Panchabhutas, and then mind, Buddhi, and then Ahankara is his Aparashakti. And what is Parashakti? It is Chaitanya. So then, when we say that the Aparashakti is matter and energy, and what is Bhagavan's Chaitanya, how energy is different from Bhagavan's Chaitanya. So, energy is outside in this world, energy, even though that energy is also not visible, we can't see that, but we can calculate that. We are able to calculate energy. We are able to uh, uh, generate energy like electric energy or any energy. So we are able to convert one form of energy into another form of energy. So the energy that we study in physics is the energy of Aparashakti. And what is the difference between energy and Chaitanya? So God's Chaitanya is something which is very, very different. Like for the embryo in mother's womb, so if there is no God's Chaitanya, then that will not develop. So if Chaitanya enters the womb, only then it starts expanding, only then it grows into a baby. So that is God's Chaitanya. And as long as Chaitanya is there in our body, we are alive. When the Chaitanya leaves our body, then the body becomes dead. So that Chaitanya is called as God's Parashakti. And then the energy that we see in this electric energy, hydroelectric energy, and so many different types of energy, and mechanical energy, when we do some work we need energy. So that energy is Aparashakti, that is matter and energy. So that is Aparashakti, but Parashakti is God's Chaitanya, so by which each individual gets energy and life, that is Para Chaitanya, that is called as Mahodaya Agre Patatu.
अस्तु महोदय एतद्योनीनि भूतानि सर्वाणीत्युपधारय अहं कृत्स्नस्य जगतः प्रभवः प्रलयस्तथा
धन्यवाद महोदय. So he says that etad dyonini bhutani sarvani iti upadharaya, understand. So etad dyonini sarvani bhutani, and then these two, that is para and upper, my para and apara shaktis are the cause of utpatti, or the cause of this creation. Understand that these two are the cause of the creation. And also he says in the second line, Aham Kritsnasya Jagataha Prabhavaha Pralayaha Tatha. So I am the root cause for the creation, for the maintenance, and for the destruction. So we say that Srishti Sthiti Laya. So he's there, he says that I am the cause of, I am the root cause of all these things. So whatever we see in this world, whether it is in the form of a material or non-living thing, or it is in the form of trees, or it is in the form of animals, so or in the form of human beings, everything has come from God's Para and Apara Shakti, the communication of Para and Apara Shakti. Like how we have seen the mother's embryo getting the Chaitanya of God, and then it becomes alive, and the cell division takes place, and then the embryo starts growing. It is only the Sayoga, the communication or the entry of Chaitanya, makes that alive, and then it starts growing. So that's why he says that the Sanyoga of Para and Apara. So only with that, all the living beings get life, like that. Uh, so then all the Panchabhutas, and then Manaha and Buddhi, all these things with the Chaitanya, that is para and apara, all these are done by God only, and then everywhere God is there. So it may be a smallest particle, or it may be a big planet like Earth, it may be a small germ or any insect, or it may be a big the human who is having the sharpest brain. So it may be a human, or it may be a single celled amoeba or paramecium, whatever it is. Everywhere behind this, God is there, because He is all pervaded. So also He says that He only creates, and He only maintains, and He only destroys. So behind all this, it is only Him. And uh, how much ever His role is there in creation, it is equal role He has in sustenance, and equal role He has in destruction. So there is no uh, partiality in that. He says, so he is equally involved in creation, maintenance, and destruction. He says everything is done by him, because when we say that eko devaha sarvabhuteshu gudaha, there is only one God, then he must be responsible for all the three things. So that's what Krishna says in this shloka. So the seventh shloka we'll see from next week. Dhanyavadaha. Time is also up, so we can. Bhagini, if you want, you can do Parayana.
Okay, Bhagini.
Okay.
Shanti
Mangala
Mantram.
shloka. Shanti mantra you tell.
ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः धन्यवादः